All right. So I guess we are already 5 minutes late, so we can begin the live. So welcome to the seminar Answering Extinctionism FAQs with Logic. So the thing about extinctionism is that uh, there are a lot of frequently asked questions which needs to be answered in answered with science. So some extinctionist activist from a non-science background, how can they answer it only with logic? That is what this seminar is going to focus on, because I'm just in this seminar I'm just gonna focus on questions, scientific questions to extinctionism, and how can we answer it with logic. It's as simple as that. So let's go to the first slide. So before beginning the seminar, we should be clear on one thing. Is science absolute? Is science perfect? Is it flawless? Um, Science is flawless. It, at least it should be flawless, but the answer is it isn't. It's not flawless. It's not absolute. Um, so to your right, you have a picture. This is from physics textbook from Pakistan. So what is written is that when Allah created the universe, when he made a set of principles which are called laws of nature, by which all particles should obey these laws. So if you're a student from Pakistan, you might think that okay, really Allah created it, right? It might seem a bit absurd from here, but the thing is, in education system they have given such a um, unscientific thing. So um, the thing is, science should be absolute, it should be perfect, it should be flawless, but the thing is, scientists are not. So this book is one of the many examples, right? So even in this book it would be written that when Allah created Big Bang, right? That's how they would write it in Muslim countries. So um, science should be flawless, but scientists aren't. The thing is, even religious morons can be scientists, spiritual morons can be scientists, and literally anybody can be scientists. Just because you are a scientist doesn't mean that you are logical about everything, right? And what happens if you are a illogical, irrational scientist? You create biased science. It's very simple, right? So if you are a physicist who's who's a Muslim, you are gonna write crap like this, right? So if you are like a Christian, probably you'll write when Jesus created Big Bang. It's absolutely possible, right? If so, um, so you'll be biased. So science is not absolute. So this is not just one example. So if you take research papers um, about so you can try this in your free time. So soy milk is a big competitor to traditional dairy milk, right? So there will be some researchers saying that if you eat soy, it has female hormones, and your muscle growth will be hindered, and even you will turn into a female. But below those research, if you see research funding, who does the funding comes from? It will be something like dairy association. right? So do you think it's rational to believe in this research? No, this is obviously biased, right? So even you can't believe in a research funded by soy industry, that says soy is perfectly healthy and dairy is not healthy, because it will be absolutely biased. So even peer reviewed research papers like these can be biased. So science is not absolute, science is not perfect, because simply because scientists are imperfect, right? So what is perfect then? Logic is perfect, logic is absolute. So even if something is you know based from a scientific research paper, or even if something is based from a scientific source, it doesn't mean that it is absolute. And still, as extinctionists, we should analyze it logically and rationally. So this is something that is basic, that I needed to cover before we go into the seminar. Okay, is extinction possible? Let's get into our first question, right? So for this, you need to ask yourself three questions. First is, what is the goal of our movement, goal of our extinctionist movement? So the goal of our extinctionist movement is not to so we have never claimed that uh, you know um we can cause cosmic level extinction, or we can cause this much extinction. We can cause extinction in the Milky Way, we can cause extinction here, we can cause extinction there. So the goal of the extinctionist movement is simply rationalizing the society. So life is just meaningless suffering, and sentient beings are suffering here, conscious living beings are suffering here, and people need to rationally think about this. They need to rationalize with extinctionism. They should um, you know start considering sentient beings, they should start considering suffering. So that is the goal of extinctionist movement, right? So second question is, how can someone say it's impossible? The answer is, they cannot say that it's impossible, and we are not saying that it's possible. So if somebody says that, okay, cosmic level extinction is possible, then they are lying. And if somebody says that cosmic level extinction is impossible, they are also lying. Even if the world's topmost scientist says that, okay, cosmic level extinction is impossible, that means that they don't know anything about science. The thing is that um, current science, so science started developing, like, into a good shape, like, 100 200 years ago. That's when we really started getting into science. And still we are at the beginning stages, right? So if somebody says that it's impossible, then they are morons, they don't know anything about science, right? So you don't know all the science in this universe, you don't know 100%, you don't have the 100% knowledge of science, right? So simply you cannot say that it's impossible. But the goal of the extinctionist movement is to try and see whether how we can cause extinction, because we already know that whatever is happening in this world, like rape, or starvation, or natural disasters, or torture, these things are not at all acceptable. So definitely we have a moral obligation to see whether it's possible. If it's not possible, okay, let's so as I said, the goal is rationalizing the society. So if we have a rational society and we come across the information, okay, it's not possible, cosmic level extinction is not universal extinction is not possible, then we will go for earth based extinction just for earth based beings. But until we come across the knowledge, it's our moral obligation to search for it, right? So there are three rules to follow in extinctionism. That is, we need to we need to gather all the knowledge, and we need to cause extinction as vast as possible, as thorough as possible, and as painless as possible. So this is very much necessary to follow. So we are not saying that okay, extinction will happen through this method, extinction will happen like this, it will happen like this. No, we are saying that all these sufferings happening in this world, a child getting raped or an animal getting abused, or predation, or natural disasters, accidents, diseases, these are not acceptable. So we are saying that it is our moral obligation to search for a way to cause extinction as vast and as thorough as possible. So anybody claiming that, at this stage at least, anybody claiming that it's impossible, they don't know anything about science. Because only when we have 100% of the knowledge, we can say, okay, cosmic extinction is not possible. Okay, let's go for earth-based extinction. And even then, even for causing earth-based extinction, you need a society to be rational. That is the goal of the movement, right? Then they need to cause extinction consciously. They need to be rational. So another thing I would like to say here is that um, we have to go to the previous thing that I said about science. So the thing is that um, um, science is not complete, right? Science is not absolute. So even if somebody tomorrow says that okay, extinction is possible through this method, then as extinctionists we have to verify that information rationally. So we should never accept any information as it is. Okay, so it can also be biased. So can technology eradicate suffering without extinction? Right. So um, I think I've answered this a lot of times in a lot of my seminars, but I'm gonna give you the same example, right? So um, uh, what is technology? So we are on the internet. Internet is a technology. Let's take that as an example. So internet can be used to effectively communicate, right? So let's say that okay, there are a group of animals in my area that needs to be rescued, right? So um, I connect with like-minded people in my area, and I start a group for animal rescue. So right, I rescue some animals, which is a good outcome. Let's just say for that, for the sake of argument, let's just say rescue is good, right? So something good came out of the internet. So at the same time, there is also darknet, right? So where sadists, they abuse animals, share the video with each other, and enjoy sadism, right? So technology, we should understand very well, is that it is a double-edged sword. Whatever technology you invent, it can be used by criminals, right? whatever technology you invent is subject to politics, right? So you might invent a technology, um, in agriculture, which gives you a lot of yield, but some countries, they might be economically very poor to adopt that technology. So technology is always subject to politics, crime, and economy. So um, so it's not going to solve anything. And the same technology you use to solve suffering, somebody can use to create suffering. It's as simple as that. So this is one group of people. There are some groups of people called transhumanists, or I have been corrected by them to call them trans animalists. So what these people say is that basically, living organisms are made up of genes. So this FAQ that I've written here might seem absurd to some of you, but actually these kinds of people exist. They say that we are made up of genes. So let's just find out whatever gene causes suffering and let's just erase it. So yes, that kind of morons exist. So let me give you two logical answers to it. First is that um, you know um, sentient beings that are capable of suffering, they range from tiny ants and even tinier insects to large blue whales. So I don't know, what are these people planning? Are they planning to pick each and every organism one by one and do gene therapy on them or whatever? So uh, their logic dies then and there, right? So uh, the next thing is, even for an individual, suffering is not a gene, right? So when you hear the word suffering, you just imagine you just imagine pain, but pain is not the only suffering in this world. So there is pain, there is fear, there is sadness, there is boredom, even anger can be a sort of suffering, right? And even slight discomforts, the disgusting feeling you get, all these are feelings, that uncomfortable feelings that you want to avoid, all these can be suffering, right? So if you start removing genes, and you have to understand the neurobiology here. So the thing is that these this sadness or depression, fear or anxiety, these are not just genes. They are, in brain there are a lot of parts, right? Brain can be anatomically divided into parts, and in these parts there will be a lot of subclusters of neurons that are responsible for all these pain, anxiety, fear, and these won't even be in one place, right? If you take empathy, even empathy is a sort of a suffering, right? So I'm when others are suffering, I'm also suffering with them as an empath. So if you take empathy, there will be a lot of clusters, a lot of parts of brains, and a lot of neurotransmitters, everything involved. So if you start removing them one by one, and if you first remove pain, and if you remove anxiety, depression, boredom, all these sorts of sufferings, then finally you look like a plant. So if you do manage to remove them, I think I don't care about those organisms that you create. So good luck to transhumanists. So um, how do you know death is the end? So I think I'm going to get into a little bit of science for this question alone, just a little bit, that everybody who has studied 8th grade or ninth grade would know. So before we get into this, I am going to introduce some terms, that is materialism and idealism, right? So let's come to what materialism is. First, I'll explain idealism. So idealists are bigger morons than what we saw before, like transhumanists. So according to idealists, like, you know, um, they don't even believe in physical properties, physical laws, physical rules. They believe that that there are a lot of types of idealists. Some of them believe that okay, life is an illusion. Some of them believe in spirituality. Some of them believe in kind of afterlife. So they believe that uh, all the uh, phenomenon that is happening in this world is somehow tied to the observer, that is the person who observes. So according to them, you can literally say anything, right? So you can say that, let's take Toy Story for example. They'll say that, when you sleep, your toys come alive at night. So you cannot disprove me when you are sleeping, so I am right. This is exactly idealism. So materialism, on the other hand, is exact opposite, right? Water, H2O, is a liquid. It has a property, right? So it behaves like a liquid. So in ocean, there is water, and this water is pushed by wind, and it is affected by moon's gravity. So waves and tides are created. So very simple and straightforward, right? So everything can be defined by physical properties. So so idealists would say something like, when you are seeing the waves behave like waves, and when you go home, the water stands up and dances like Mickey Mouse. You cannot prove me wrong because you are at home. So yes, such morons exist. So idealism gives rise to a lot of irrational thought. Major examples would be spirituality, right? Um, and religion, afterlife, all this kinds of shit comes from idealism. And this idealism even infects science and morality, right? So people can say that okay, morality is subjective. So these are um, all the irrational shit in this world, that is that doesn't have any rational points to back it up. You can back it up with idealism. So but materialism, on the other hand, is very straightforward. It it's literally facts, right? So water is a liquid. It can be pushed by the wind. It creates waves. Even when you go home, it will be creating waves. It's as simple as that. So it's very straightforward and logical. Very simple. So so the other idealists believe that okay, water is somehow conscious. It knows that okay, Steve went back home. Let's not create waves anymore, and let's just start dancing like Mickey Mouse. So that is idealism. So that is a stupid bullshit. So take carbon atom for example. Carbon has four, the valency of four. It can bond with four other elements. It can be a nitrogen, it can be a hydrogen, it can be an oxygen. It can bond with four other elements. And due to its valency of four, it can form chains, sheets, and it can take any shapes. thus creating organic molecules. So the carbon in me will behave the same as the carbon in you and the carbon in a dog, right? So the cells made of carbon in my body will behave the same as you, the same as a dog, the same as a chicken or whatever. So we have a brain made up of neurons, cells that you know um, um, that has some physical properties. Again, materialism, physical properties. So the parts of these brains, they communicate with each other in with electrical signals, and they create a conscious experience, right? So this brain, this cluster of neurons is responsible for our conscious experience. We know, okay, we have neurobiological research. So if we touch a hot pan, what kind of neurons get activated and what kind of reaction it gives out? We have studied this. We have studied these electrical signals. So when these neurons die, that is the death of conscious experience. It's as simple as that. So this is the same for me, this is the same for you, this is the same for a dog. Neurons behave the same way in anybody. They just die and conscious experience is stopped. It's very, very simple. So idealists believe that, from neurons some kind of spirit arises and travels to the other dimension where they can be either happy or tortured as a punishment for their sins. Literally we cannot give in to those delusions, right? This is like some sort of a mental disorder or something. Those people are morons. We don't need to answer. It's simple, like properties of neurons, property of a carbon. A carbon has a valency of 4. It forms organic molecules. These organic molecules form cells. Cells act in a certain way. Certain types of cells create certain chemical reactions. So these neurons create a conscious experience. And finally, when we die, when the brain dies, when these neurons die, we die. So another group of people say that let's just sterilize um, sentient beings instead of euthanizing them. These people are literally crybabies. You should understand their psychology, right? So the thing is, they have been brought up saying that death is bad. They have been like spooked by death, right? So that's their psychology. So they wanted to avoid it at all costs. But the thing is that, uh, just think about it, natural death is worse than euthanasia. These people are literal morons, right? So because of their emotions, because of their fear of death, they are going to let more deaths happen and more life to suffer. So it literally has zero logic. It's totally emotional stuff. And if you have a way to sterilize all sentient beings, then I gladly accept, right? The same way, like it's not going to be logically possible to pick each and every organism and neuter them. So the same way, if it is not possible, you have to accept extinctionism and you have to accept euthanasia, right? But they won't, because those people are crybabies, right? Okay, so I think I've finished almost all the questions. I think it was over so soon. I'll just address some questions in the comments. After, okay, so there is a good comment. This I should have included as a part of this seminar, but anyway, I'll just answer this. After causing cosmic extinction, universe can be born again, and like this one Big Bang theory. Okay, aside from the grammatical mistakes, I'll just explain what this person is asking. So they are asking that life can. So the question is they are posing is that um, life can reform, life can form again. So what if even if we cause cosmic extinction, universe it can be born again in the big bang can happen again. The thing is that cosmic extinction, we are going for a cosmic extinction to be thorough, right? So the beginning of this lecture, I talked about something, 100% of knowledge. So we should be 100% sure, we should be 100% sure that this extinction will be thorough. So only when we get that knowledge, we can cause effective extinction. So that is the goal of cosmic extinction. So let's say that, so there is a theory called pulsating theory. So it says that, after universe expands, sometimes dark energy might the it might start reducing, dark energy it might start reducing, and universe will contract again, and up to a point where it is infinitely dense, and then start expanding again. So essentially creating another universe. So if this is going to be the case, then if we come across this knowledge, then we should uh, you know uh, see how to prevent it. That is the point of cosmic extinction, right? Otherwise, why are we going for a cosmic extinction? So as I said, like there are three rules: as vast as possible, as thorough as possible, and as painless as possible. So as thorough as possible is very important. It's a very integral part of cosmic extinction, right? So if we don't have to be thorough, right? If we don't have a knowledge right now, we don't know that whether aliens exist, so we can just say that okay, aliens don't exist, let's not think about it, and we can cause extinction right now. The point of going for a cosmic extinction is like being thorough, being vast. So like if in a case that aliens exist, our universe is repetitive, then it means that all these events, all this suffering, again materialism, carbon is going to behave the same way, it's going to create life. Already we have evidence that we have observed organic molecules in asteroids, meteors that have hit earth. So we have evidence. So it's going to behave the same way, and all these events, all this suffering, these negative meaningless events are going to happen again. So it will behave the same way. So the thing is that uh, that is why we have to be thorough. We have to get all the knowledge before we act. That is a very integral part of the extinctionist movement. Then aren't you being speciesist by permitting only Earth's extinction? No, like I think we have a video about cosmic extinction. So the point that I said is that when I said we'll stick to Earth's extinction, is if we get a knowledge that cosmic extinction. So I'm not going to claim that cosmic extinction is impossible or possible right now. So if we get a knowledge that okay, it's impossible, then we can go for Earth based extinction, which is what I said. Do you believe in karma? No way. All that is bullshit. I'm not a moron. Extinction is not the end of life, bro. You need to learn science about abiogenesis. Okay, bro. That is why we are going for a cosmic extinction. So the thing is that so cosmic extinction is basically saying that you have see abiogenesis is a is an assertion, right? So it says that organic molecules formed from inorganic molecules. That is true, right? So but we don't know how rare life is, or how common it is, how easy for it is for sentient life to form, how abundant we have life all across the universe, and we don't know whether how long this life is going to continue, whether it's going to keep forming, and we don't know how to cause cosmic level extinction. So all these things we need to check. So right now we are just saying that all these events, like negative events, they are literally the most valuable things, suffering, right? So all these negative events like natural disasters, starvation, cancer, rape, child abuse, all these things that are happening, they are unacceptable, and we should start working on solutions. So to start working on solutions, we need knowledge, and we should progress towards it. And when once we get 100% knowledge, we will act on it. That is what we are saying. So we want to cause extinction as thorough as possible, right? So we want to make sure like abiogenesis never happens again. So we have theories like vacuum decay, which says that Higgs boson particle is in a higher energy state, and if it goes to lower energy state, and the universe can be destroyed. It will become a vacuum. There will be a vacuum bubble that forms, and it will swallow. It will keep swallowing matter. So the thing is that this is not the only thing. You can check our other video about it, and we have to check these theories whether cosmic extinction is possible. Yeah, it is very possible for abiogenesis to happen again. Yes, that is the main reason why we need to go for a cosmic extinction. Are you convinced of determinism? I don't know who you are asking. If you are asking me, I am a complete determinist. And for those of you who don't know these terms, determinism and all that, I'll soon make videos making them very simple. I think our friend Jeevan has explained this on a Christian debate about determinism in a very simple manner. You can watch that debate. Can you answer why animals and birds suffer so much? Why were they not born humans? Study evolution, bro. I can't answer like this is basic stuff. Like, but it's a big thing. this is this, somebody says so this guy, so he has said universe can be born again like this one. So this guy literally doesn't have any knowledge about science. As I said, we don't even know whether universe is going to, what the fate of universe is going to be, whether it's going to be a big rip or big crunch, whether it's going to contract again, whether it's going to keep expanding. We literally don't know whether it's going to be subject to a heat death. This guy seems to have known that a big bang is going to happen again. So I have answered this question like previously, and then the other guy says that the only way to stop is like stop time, which is next to impossible. So I don't think you need to theorize this much. So extinctionist movement is like very simple, right? So one thing I would like to say is like, when you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk about it. Like, go logically. So you don't need to give answers to this. uh, okay, so the thing is, extinctionist movement needs to be practical. So we don't have a knowledge on how to cause cosmic extinction. We are going to search for it. Science is not complete, right? So we are going to search for it. So this is the answer you need to give people. This is the answer you need to give people, for the right people to approach you and to take the movement rationally to the next steps. So if you give if you just talk about stuff that you don't know about, right? So it's like transhumanists saying that, okay, delete the genes of suffering. They don't know what they are talking about. Right? You can't just delete suffering. So don't do it. So there is nothing wrong with saying that, okay, we need to search for it. Okay, so it is not mandatory. We mandatory to say that, okay, you become a Christian and Jesus will solve all your problems. Then we will become like a religion. We won't be rational. What is the difference between a Christian and me, right? So you don't need to give uh, answers. But the thing is that anybody who says that extinction is impossible is also wrong. And anybody who says that we shouldn't work for this is unethical. They are literally saying that, okay, let rapes continue, let starvation continue, let wars continue, let all the sufferings continue. So obviously extinctionism is the only conclusion, and I literally don't need to give any uh, I don't need to give the science that is going to be discovered like 500 years later or 1000 years later. Affentex, bro, you don't understand anything, bro. Literally, I'm talking about cosmic extinction, vacuum decay. So, okay, the thing is, I'll add how extinction seminar and videos in my description, and you can check it out. So, I don't think you understand anything. Sun becoming a red giant and extinction being inevitable. Again, another question we shouldn't speculate about. I think uh, leaving solar system will be within our capabilities. I, because we have 5 billion years, and yeah, and I don't know why does it even matter. So the thing is, I'm not going to name a time, okay, 5 billion years, naturally I am not going to. So there are some people who are like, uh, uh, atheists, or some people, they just sit around and they say that I wish a meteor could hit earth, I wish sun becomes red giant. I'm not going to do either. Like I'm not going to sit and say that, okay, sun becoming a red giant will wipe everything out, so let natural extinction happen, let me just enjoy my life. I'm not going to say that. And I'm not going to say that it's going to cause extinction. I'm going to say that I am going to build an extinctionist movement, and I'm going to try for extinction. I'm not going to wait around. Okay, so I'm going to say that I'm going to build a movement. I'm going to fight against suffering. I'm going to fight for a permanent solution for suffering. That is the only thing that makes sense. So otherwise you are just being selfish, like you want to enjoy your life, so you are just waiting it out. No, I don't think so. Like, see, that is another thing that I don't agree. So, from the point of view of materialism, carbon behaves the same way wherever you go in this universe, right? So it has the same properties. Under certain temperature, it will be a vapor. Under certain temperatures, it will freeze. So this is the property. It has a valency of 4. It reacts with oxygen. So the thing is, there is a possibility that life might form anywhere in universe. So I think we need to go for a cosmic extinction. And you know if we make the society extinctionist, if we uh, take the movement forward, then we can take uh, welfaristic methods like animal extinction on earth, and then humans can search for cosmic extinction, right? So we can go for these things. But I don't think we should limit ourselves to earth as of now. Exactly, there is a difference between mass extinction and total extinction. I literally don't care about mass extinction. If you let's say that mass extinction happens right now and life is going to bounce back in a few hundred years, and why does it even matter? Suffering is going to continue. So my goal is zero suffering. Not even one single child deserves to get raped. Not even one single animal deserves to starve. Not even one animal deserves to be ripped apart alive. Nobody deserves to get cancer. So my thing is like zero suffering. I want to eradicate all the suffering. So is there any other question, or can we end the seminar? Should we continue to strive for innovation and problem solving to improve human and animal life? So with regards to animal life, I would say we should only strive for extinction, right? So we have the technology to cause a face by face extinction. That is, you can cause ecological dead zones and make animals extinct. And if you take livestock and other domesticated animals, their reproduction is completely within our hands. So we can very well cause animal extinction right now with current technology. And the thing is, animal suffering is totally unnecessary. If you take human suffering, I wouldn't say human suffering is exactly you know, humans deserve to suffer or whatever. But the thing is, it's necessary. So I'm not going to, like, see, life is not so black and white. So sometimes you have to accept some suffering in order to solve, in order for the greater good. And I would say humans can, okay, they can concentrate on welfareistic methods, and they can improve their life, and they can go and search for a cosmic extinction. So that is what I think. So problem solving for animals would be extinction right now. We don't even need animals to live. So we can live healthy lives without animals, with just a plant based diet. And animal suffering is like totally unnecessary. Don't we have a responsibility to care for and conserve the life that exists today? Are you a moron? Where did you come from? So we are extinctionists. We don't want to conserve life. We want to cause extinction. We want animals not to exist. So we don't want to care for them. And humans should exist for a while. We should, until we gather more knowledge about causing cosmic extinction. So we don't have to conserve life. So caring for life is one thing. Like, okay, if you say that, okay, you are an animal rescuer, I think you are a total scammer, right? If you are really, let's say that you rescue children from war zones, or you rescue animals, then I think you are a complete scam. So if you are not a scam, then it's fine if you rescue children from war zone. It's fine if you rescue animals uh, from streets or from wild. But the thing is, if you don't do extinctionist activism, if you don't look for a permanent solution, if you just want to keep rescuing them for getting donation or getting famous or satisfying your savior complex or whatever, then you are a complete scam. If you are not working on a permanent solution for them, definitely you are a complete scam. So anybody who's involved in welfareism, animal rescue, I'm not stopping you. But the thing is, if you are not also working on a permanent solution, which, if you are rational, you will come to extinctionism, then you are a complete fraud. Then that means that you want them there. You want animals to keep getting abused. You want kids to keep suffering in war zones. Because the thing is, as long as life exists, you cannot stop wars or animal abuse or predation or starvation or whatever. So you just want them to suffer there, so that you can rescue them and get donations, you can get fame, you can get your savior complex satisfied. So you're a complete scam. Total extinction. See, on theory, I just want sentient beings to go extinct. If you say that, okay, sentient, um, conscious living beings will never come back, then I am fine with bacteria existing, because bacteria don't suffer, right? So um, I don't care about them. But the thing is, if I if I seem to get a knowledge that okay, if this bacteria exists and if it's going to evolve into a sentient being, a conscious living beings, then that means that conscious life has a chance to come back. So at that time, I want the extinction of all life forms. But the thing is, when I'm causing extinction, it's going to be for everything, right? So if I'm say like um, uh, if as a society we are going to trigger vacuum decay, so it's going to swallow plants. This vacuum is going to swallow even rocks, right? So um, I'm not worried about it. But on theory, I just want conscious living beings to go extinct. I if plants on theory, for argument's sake, if you say that uh, only non-sentient organisms, bacteria, plants, the things that don't feel suffering, if they exist throughout this universe, I don't care about that. I only care about conscious living beings. Okay, now you are just typing whatever you studied in your science book. I am not going to respond to that. So if so, another thing I would like to say here is that um, if you are an extinctionist, if you believe in extinction for all, please text us on Proextinction, and we can add you in our WhatsApp group. If you on the other hand, if you are not an extinctionist, uh, you can so we'll add our Instagram page on the description of this video. So please do message us, and we can have a debate on why you are not an extinctionist. So if you would be interested in live debate, text us on Proextinction. Right. All right. I think it's enough for today. I'm gonna end the live. Bye, guys.